There was a time when Britain wasn't just known for its global power. It was admired for its impeccable manners. Courtesy wasn't an optional extra, but the invisible glue that held society together. From the simple tilt of a hat to the refined ritual of afternoon tea, these customs shaped how people lived, spoke, and interacted. But somewhere between post-war rebuilding and the rise of modern casual culture, those quiet traditions began to fade. What once defined British character has shrunk into faint memories, leaving today's elders wondering how everyday civility disappeared so quickly. Walk through any British high street in 1950, and you'd witness a masterclass in courtesy. Men instinctively rose when a woman entered the room, offered seats on buses without hesitation, and tipped their hats in greeting. This wasn't grandstanding. It was a shared understanding of dignity. Fathers taught sons that true masculinity meant self-control, gentleness, and respect for others. Opening a door or giving up your seat wasn't charity. It was duty. Everyone knew the rules, and everyone lived by them. But manners extended far beyond chivalry. Men addressed each other formally, unless invited otherwise, shook hands firmly but never forcefully, and saved raised voices for genuine emergencies. A gentleman's promise meant everything, and breaking it damaged more than reputation. It fractured your place in the community. Disputes weren't settled with shouting, but with quiet conversations, steady voices, and the ever-important stiff upper lip. Not repression, but a discipline that kept chaos at bay. Nothing showcased British character more than the queue. In the 40s and 50s, orderly lines formed instantly at bus stops, ration shops, and even air raid shelters. No signs required. Cutting in wasn't just rude, it was a serious moral offense. The queue reflected fairness, equality, and shared hardship. From aristocrats to factory workers, everyone waited their turn. Rationing and wartime sacrifice etched patience into national identity. People chatted, exchanged news, and created tiny communities while standing in line, a quiet togetherness that shaped generations. And then there was the theater of afternoon tea, a social ritual elevated to an art form. Fine china arranged perfectly, invitations written by hand, milk added only after tea, and conversations kept light and graceful. Every gesture carried meaning. Even stirring was done in a precise back-and-forth motion to avoid clinking. Scones had rules. Sandwiches had rules. Everything had rules. These traditions reinforced belonging and social finesse, not through wealth, but through understanding etiquette. British communication itself was a subtle code. A simple "quite good" meant excellent, not bad meant impressive, and emotional displays were carefully moderated. Understatement wasn't just style, it was survival. During the war, families described bombed homes as rather unfortunate, turning understatement into emotional armor. Children learned control early, expressing feelings gently and privately. Dry humor became a national safety valve. Family dinners in the 60s followed a gentle but firm order. Father carved the roast, mother guided the flow of the meal, and children waited their turn to speak. Table settings were purposeful, every fork and knife in its correct place, elbows off the table, napkin on the lap, and gratitude expressed without exaggeration. Meals weren't rushed. They were lessons in patience, respect, and family hierarchy, taught daily without needing lectures. Before phones were everywhere, letter writing was a serious skill. Proper greetings, neat handwriting, thoughtful messages, and prompt thank you notes were essential. Paper mattered. Presentation mattered. Letters carried weight because each one took time, care, and emotional discipline. Mail wasn't tossed aside. It was saved, tied with ribbon, and treasured for years. Public transport had its own unwritten dance. Boarding only after passengers stepped off. Offering seats to elders or mothers without hesitation. Whispered conversations. Folded newspapers. Apologies for even accidental bumps. The British instinct to maintain personal space, even in a crowded carriage, created a quiet, shared respect that made daily commuting bearable. Shops, too, were built on courtesy. Customers were addressed as sir and madam. Shopkeepers remembered regulars by name and habit. Browsing required permission, and even leaving without buying warranted a polite goodbye. Transactions weren't merely economic, they strengthened community bonds. When telephones arrived, they brought a new rulebook. Calls were brief, conducted in calm voices, and never made too early or too late. Answering required proper phrasing. and long-distance calls were planned events. The phone was treated with the same respect as any important household tool. Even neighborhoods followed gentle boundaries. Gates closed quietly. Visits announced beforehand. Noise kept to a minimum. And yet, when real need arose, neighbors appeared instantly, ready to help without fuss. Distance in normal times protected dignity, allowing generosity in difficult ones. Today, most of these customs have vanished, replaced by speed, convenience, and informality. Messages replaced letters. Efficiency replaced ceremony. Directness replaced discretion. But with this shift, something valuable slipped away. A shared understanding of how to move through the world with grace. If you're still here, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories like this. And ask yourself, has modern life truly freed us? Or have we simply forgotten how to be gentle with one another?